Hello, everyone, and welcome. Cathy and I were both just grooving. She is my first guest that is grooved with me we hear the groovy music you guys hear, and we're just like, she's my first guest to groove with me. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Cathy.
Hello, Bridget. It's so nice to be here. And I see people popping in the chat, which is so awesome. And I see people who were on my live stream early, and I just wanted them to know I put my hair down to look fancier.
We did have a comment that they're like, twice the Cathy is better. It's twice as nice having twice the Cathy. So yes, I agree. Why not?
Why
Let's
not?
have Cathy all the time.
Why not? All day, every day.
And we have Cathy is very much a surprise kitten from Amy Rasavi.
There we go.
Are you a surprised kitten?
Is that it?
That must be
that's it. It's only if Amy like tickles my belly or comes at me. Like if Amy comes a little closer, like, I'm gonna get you.
So the first thing you guys know off the bat, even if you have never seen anything or heard anything about Cathy, which I think is impossible.
Oh,
you guys know I don't think so. You know she is a hoot and a riot already. But Cathy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cathy Zielske, and I make cards on the internet. I didn't always make cards on the internet. Long story short, I have been a graphic designer for 30 plus years. And sometime in the early 2000s, I started scrapbooking, and I thought, this is kind of fun, and this is crafty, and I could do this. And then I did that for many, many years. And I worked for a couple magazines doing their graphic design work in scrapbooking. So I still work for a magazine called Scrapbooking Cards today as their graphic designer and main art director. And it was that very magazine and pressure from someone some of you may know named Jennifer McGuire that turned me into a card maker. And I started making cards. Basically, I for a blog post that my publisher at Scrapbooking Cards today asked me to do, and I'm like, well, I don't have anything for cards. So she had Stampin' Up! Send me a Big Shot, like their branded Big Shot, and some dies, and that was it. And then I was hooked. April 2017, I went all in on card making, and I have to say I haven't really looked back.
Good, because we've been looking since then.
I mean,
so
yeah,
I'm glad
okay,
you're not looking back.
A couple other little things. I started a relationship with Simon Says Stamp, so I do design stamps and dies for Simon Says Stamp, which is a wonderful collaboration. And then, yeah, now I just make cards on the internet and try not to make too many mistakes. And it's still as fun today to sit down and make a card project as it was back then, because everything felt new to me. So there's my way more than 3 sentences history.
We were joking about if we could summarize our lives in 3 sentences, who you were. And I'm like, they'd be run-on sentences because I don't think I can synopsis, but you did very well. I think that was very, very well. That was a very nice, concise introduction.
Thank you.
And people are saying you look marvelous, darling. Marvelous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I don't know how people, including you, Bridget, how people have long hair. This is driving me crazy. And I've had it for about 3 years now. Because if you know me from the old school, my hair was this long and I loved it. And then the pandemic came and I thought, I don't want to get a haircut. And I let it grow. And now I never wear it down unless I'm doing stuff like this, because I want people to quickly identify, oh, she's a female card maker. I don't know. I just never,
Well, with all crafters, as you know, pajamas are very common, and the clip or the hair bun, so common too. So it's the claw, the claw,
the claw,
the
the
claw,
claw.
the claw. That's from a Jim Carrey movie, The Claw, The Claw. So if you guys remember that movie, bonus points.
Okay.
No, your crafting style. So you evolved from a scrapbooker to a card maker.
Yeah.
What's your style?
I think it's always been relatively clean and minimal. Card making has seen me do more things that are less in that lane. However, because I feel empowered and emboldened to try things that I would have never tried in card making. I still think I keep things a little stripped down, but it's clean, simple, but that doesn't mean that all the techniques are necessarily easy or simple. I think there's a lot that goes into making a card that looks simple. And I think sometimes that comes across in some of my videos. They run anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes half the time. And it's like, there's a lot that even goes into a simple design, but that's how I would categorize my style. Kind of clean, kind of simple, but not simplistic.
I totally agree. And I think that's great that you mentioned it, that even though you may see a simple card, it doesn't mean it took 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It sometimes can take 5 hours to
Yeah.
create that beautiful, perfect, simple card that in the end is shown in the video. It's amazing how quick time flies when you're creating the simple, because it's almost like you put less on it. So you have to be very decisive about what you're putting on there and have a focus for it, kind of almost.
Do. Yeah. Yep.
And I love too that you do have a line of sentiments and you keep it real. Like it's real. It's totally real with your sentiments, which is fabulous.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to make stamps, and I'm trying to do more of this as I release less things. I just want to use things that I would use. And we were talking off before we went live about a set that I designed recently it's called Bad Days, Good Vibes. It's like some days aren't great. And sometimes it's important, I think, to acknowledge that for people we love, to say, hey, you know what? This sucks. There's no silver lining to this. And I think that is really appropriate in a card, So I try to do things that I would want to send and do send to my close friends who are probably at this point getting sick of the cards I send. But one of them, she keeps them all on her dresser. And I just think that's like the sweetest thing, because I certainly would not expect anyone to keep a handmade card, but they do.
I keep every single one I get. I
do too.
I keep them up top, and then they graduate to bins as I get new ones. They kind of, it's a graduation process. They even walk like this across the bin, so they graduate. Yes. So, but it's wonderful to keep them because we put so much into those cards. Speaking of cards, Cathy, do you know a place in October people might be able to go to make a bunch of beautiful cards with a fabulous kit?
I actually do. I believe there is a Cozy Comfort Retreat, and it is October 12th, and it is hosted by Altenew, and I get to teach with you guys for the very first time. So I am super excited about this because I have gotten into Altenew this year. I am amassing products. Now, if you look, over my shoulder, see where my finger's pointing off into the blur? Those are all Fresh Dye Ink circular pads. I also have another 12 up top, and I just ordered another ink pad holder so that I can continue my exploration and study of the Altenew circular pads. So, and the brushes. I don't mean to brag. This is one of two.
And who got you into that? Just we'll name drop again. Who got you into that?
Jennifer McGuire. She said, listen. She says, listen, girl, listen, Missy. She goes, you'd like these inks. You should try them. So I have, and I have really enjoyed them. And I just wanted to be prepared because I know a lot of people are curious about what's the kit going to look like for class. I know it's going to be amazing. I've seen sketches and sneaks of what the idea is, and that's what made me say, yes, please. So I think it's going to be really fun. But yeah, cozy comfort retreat. And guess what? No bra needed, no hard pants.
I think it should be a rule, pajama pants. I mean, it just should be, you sign up, pajama pants. It just...
And it's going to be October. I mean, it is literally, it's my favorite month of the year. I love fall because at least I live in Minnesota. It can be really gross here in September, like humid and hot, but generally by the middle of October, oh my gosh. And you know what I just realized? October 12th is my parents' 68th wedding anniversary.
Maybe a super special card.
Well, maybe. I mean, they live in Las Vegas. I think they live longer out there just because it's hot and they just get a lot of sun. I don't know, but I was just talking to them the other day and I just realized their anniversary is October 12th. But it's just a great time of year to be in and make things and be cozy and have your cocoa or your coffee or your tea and your pajamas and all your craft things. The reality is I don't like leaving this room.
Yeah.
I like my bed and I like this room.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes my recliner sneaks in and it's death. You sit in that recliner, it's death. I mean, you're done. You're not getting out.
But I'm honored to be teaching because the lineup is great. I'm so excited to be. I see Amy Rasavi in the chat, and I'm just excited that I get to be part of this group of people. JC, who I'm a big fan, I could watch him make cards all day.
Oh yeah,
he's the most soothing card maker. Like he would be his own brand of ASMR. You know, you just watch him and you feel relaxed, but you also learn. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
And yeah, Amy's interview is coming up on the 9th. So it's coming up next week. And so you guys are the two first timers. So that's very exciting that you and Amy, she can tickle your belly and you can, so during the, during the retreat together.
I saw Amy post something, Amy, the other day about, well, it's not every day I get dolled up and professional. I'm like, girl, you are such a pro. You are going to be so great. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I love Amy, and we're newbies, but we're going to have fun.
I love this lineup too, because the cards, just the styles are so different, and it shows the versatility in this kit. Now, everybody out there, Cathy does not have this in her hands yet. Not yet. But you've seen some photos kind of lurking about before when you signed up. Was there something you saw and you're like, yes, please, yes, when you saw it?
Yes, because there's the florals, right? The fall foil. I can't say that word.
Foliage.
Foliage. Is it foliage?
Foliage. People say foliage like there's no I, and then they also say foliage. So
foliage.
It's great.
Fall leaves.
You got it.
Like, because I think there's some stenciling in there, and that makes me excited because here's the thing, I'm not the world's greatest colorer. And with pens, I've got all the Copics. I don't really know how to use them. It's always a crapshoot. And so having the whole layered stencil thing for florals, especially, and leafery, like especially the way Altenew does it, it's like, it just makes you look good. It's foolproof. I mean, literally you can, once you get a little hand of blending, everything comes together so well. So I'm just excited to work with all of it, because it makes making beautiful things easy.
And who doesn't want that, right? I mean, that's the thing. And I think, we get so many different types of skill levels here. What do you think? We have beginners, we have intermediate, we have advanced folks. What do you think is great about retreats like this for kind of the gamut of crafter?
Well, I think one thing that's fun is in your personal world, you may not have people who give much of a care, if you will, about crafting. So you instantly are thrown into a group of people, whether you are, like you said, the skill level can range, but everybody in this class is interested and, dare I say, passionate about crafting, whether it's learning new things, whether it's you just want to try something different because you know how to do all the things already. You get this sort of community feel in a group like this, and it's like getting together with people who get it.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. I don't have any local friends who do this. Nobody makes cards. I keep trying to get one of my scrapbooker friends from the olden days, who's a dear friend, and I know she would love it. But it's so that is the cool thing about these online retreats is it brings you together, and you are with other people who get it. I think that's kind of the biggest thing about it, right? But I think too, in a class like this, there's always something that a seasoned maker can learn. And there are things that newbies are going to be like, wow, I did not know. And now I know. So they emerge feeling confident, like they've learned something. And the same thing with people who already seem to know many things. So it's all good.
It is. And Charlene commented, she said, Altenew makes me look good. I say that all the time. I'm like, Altenew makes me look really good. It's like the stamps, the stencils, the dies, the keyhole system. I mean, come on. The pieces to hide the keyhole system.
I
So it
know.
looks like you just put that flower together all by yourself,
There are so many things from Altenew that I want to try. And yeah, so when you say the keyhole thing, I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to get one of those and I wanted to get one of those. Also, I saw Andrea post a phonetic spelling, faux-lee edge.
Yes.
Faux-lee edge.
You
I'm good.
Yes. You're ready.
I'll slow down every time I'm going to say it, but the faux-lee edge. Okay. Thank you for that.
You're so ready. Yes. And you're going to get one of those keyhole systems in the kit. So that's exciting. So you will have that. So if you guys haven't checked out the website has the photo. So the photo of what you get.
Oh,
and
shoot.
You may notice that there are some beautiful inks in there. There are some beautiful cardstocks in there. We were talking about blending brushes while we were in the quote unquote green room, as I like to call it. There's some of the micro blending brushes in there, which is very exciting. I was telling Cathy, you have to have these. They're fabulous. And of course, Cathy's favorite, the mini blenders are in there, and Jennifer McGuire's favorite as well. Everybody loves the minis. And so, you can see the beautiful ink colors. You can see some beautiful colored cardstock. You can see that we have a coordinating. It's similar to the Craft Your Life into what's in it. So there's a stamp set, a die set, a stencil, and an embossing folder called One Go Sweet Pumpkins. So you get all 4 pieces for that. You get a hazelnut branch layering die set, pistachio layering die set, stylish greetings die set. You get some mixed foliage layering die set, card bases, enamel dots. I think I got everything because I did mention the inks. So you get all of that in this amazing kit. And that's just the product. I mean, adding up the product, you basically, the classes are the cherry on top. And you get beautiful PDFs. And the great thing about this is, say 20 years from now, you say Cathy's card at the October 2024, that wowed me. I have to make it again. You can. It's yours. You can access these forever, which is great.
I love that.
We also had a question back there about, will everything you need be in the kit? So those are the main elements. So Cathy may use a die cutting machine because we have an embossing folder and we have a die in there. Somebody may use some satin masking tape because we have stencils in there, or they might use a sticky mat to hold their stencil down. So you'll supplement basic supplies that you would have around your craft room to craft with these products. So You may want a black ink to stamp your pumpkins in, or you may want some white paper to cut your sentiments out of. But the main components every instructor will use are in this kit. So that's very, very exciting. And it's definitely the fall feel vibe. Like we get the fall vibes going on. And pumpkins, love the pumpkins. So great.
Right, right. And I'm so excited to play with the inks too. So, I mean, I love that we're doing this now and that that signups are happening now, because I can't wait to have time with all of this stuff just to play before, because that's what's really fun. I don't know if people realize that as instructors, but when they send us the stuff, we get to just play and make things and make several things and then decide, these are my favorite. I'm going to teach these cards, and it's just a very fun process to do the creative with the products. And then see what you are going to teach in the class. It's so fun to do. It's hard to believe this is part of my job.
I know. Would your 5-year-old self believe that this is what you do for a job? Or would you have been like, no?
No, my 5-year-old self was told that I wasn't very artistic. Like I wasn't artistic. Like I was smart and I was a good writer, but I was never told that I was artistic in any way. And so I never thought that I could be creative, which is weird because I'm a graphic designer, but that is it. You don't have to be artistic to be a graphic designer. You have to be linear. You have to understand space and how to communicate with those things, but you don't have to be able to draw or paint or whatever. And my 5-year-old self would be like, guess what? I'm a crafter, but I make really fun artsy things. So, to be artsy in my middle age, that is awesome.
Yes. Awesome. And I'm so glad you did not listen when somebody said you were not artistic. I'm glad you were like, la, la, la.
Yep. Just plug it up. I'm not hearing it. I'm good to go.
And yes, so the kits will ship. The kits usually ship about 3 weeks before the event, 3 to 4 weeks before the event. We try to be in that window. So that's, you will have your kit in time. And I saw this question elsewhere. I was watching Jennifer's. Altenew ships everywhere. So you could be in Japan and do this, or Norway, or Holland, or Zimbabwe. You could be anywhere and join us. Now, how do you think, we all know, a few years ago, world shut down and virtual was born. So, that's, something that we are so blessed to have, this virtual community that we built, especially the crafting community really rallied quickly and was like, okay, fine, we can't meet. We're going to be online. We'll get together. We'll do this. We'll do classes. And it was so lovely how the crafting community came together and did that. How do you feel about virtual versus in person?
Oh, okay. Love virtual so much, but there are many reasons. Reason number one, I think virtual is more accessible to more people. Not everyone can travel to an event, pay for the hotel, pay for the food, pay for the travel, the plane ticket, the gas, the whatever. It takes more to go to an in-person event. That's key. And I think the fact that people can take a quality workshop, like you're getting the same thing. You're even getting the chattiness that you would get with an instructor in person, but you're doing it online in a way you can afford. Number two, I know a lot of crafters who are introverts at heart. Some of us love to get together, but some of us don't. Some of us love to be the solitary, I'm in my craft room, I'm making things. And I know a lot of creative, crafty people who are more introverted, and the large group thing can be very intimidating to do in person. I am one of those people. Like I'm very outgoing. I have a personality. If you meet me in person, I will actually seem very outgoing, but I am not. After I finish talking to you, I'm going to go crawl into bed, pull the covers up to my chin, and recharge for 6 hours. So this gives me an opportunity to participate as an instructor in a format that I would not be able to do in person, because I know myself. I years ago did the scrapbook circuit, and I went on the road and I taught classes, and they were great. They were great classes. People loved them. And it just about killed me emotionally and socially. And I realized oh my gosh, I don't like going in person and teaching. I felt like there were just too many, like, what if I get sick? What if this happens? What, but in this virtual sense, it enables more people. And that makes me happy. And when I'm teaching too, I try to do my best to make you feel like we are in the same room together. We are hanging out together. I do care what you have to say. I want to answer your questions. I want to try to make it as personal as possible. And I've been practicing that for years. And it's just, that's my statement.
I mean, that's the other great thing about this is it does feel, because everybody's muted. If you've never been to one of our events, everybody's muted when you come in. You have a moderator, myself and Amy Hill, and you post questions. And when the instructor takes a breath, because let me tell you, they teach hard for 90 minutes. Like, they are going for 90 minutes. They're crafty Rockies in there. They're amazing. They're all amazing. So when they take a breath, we'll pop in your question and ask them that question. But it does feel like you have a personal, like, crafting session with all 6 of our instructors, which is amazing. And again, virtual, I mean, how would you get these 6 instructors from all over the country together? And virtual allows that, which I think is such a unique opportunity as well, bringing all those styles. I was going to say all those smiles. There will be smiles. There'll be lots of smiles there.
Smiles and styles from across the miles.
Yes. There we go. There's a stamp right there.
That's the slogan for the event. That's the subtext or the subtitle. Oh.
Now, what's your favorite thing about teaching?
I have to kind of go back to, I think my favorite thing is to share the excitement of crafting, because it's still, like I said, I can't believe this is still this much fun. And if I can share a little bit of that excitement and discovery of, wow, I'm crafty, I can make this, with someone else and give that feeling to them, for them, that they can do for themselves. I'm not speaking very clearly, but that's what it geeks me out, right? To think that I'm going to share something with you. You are going to have a little light bulb and be like, that's so cool. And then you are going to create things and feel great about what you're doing. It's just fun to share that excitement. And do I know how to do everything? No. And that's the other great thing about when I jumped into starting a YouTube channel. I mean, I've had a YouTube channel for many years, but I did nothing with it. I literally looked at Jennifer McGuire's channel. I'm like, well, I know how to do the tech stuff. I know how to make videos. I've been teaching online scrapbook classes for years. And I'm like, I want to document my journey and share as I go. And that's literally been kind of the formula that I've had on my channel, because it's all this discovery that happens all the time. So again, I don't know how to do everything, but I love to share the process of learning, because I also never want someone to take a class with me and find me unapproachable and you're doing things that I can't do. Like, I'm not going to ask you to write a creative check that your body's not ready to cash. You know what I mean? Like, that's really important to me. It's like, I want to share things with you that you're going to do and have success. And then we're both going to feel awesome about ourselves. And then we'll go clean the house later,
Maybe. Lindsay Wyrick told me she does dishes to wash inks off her hands. And I'm like,
well, hey, she's multitasking.
I know. I'm like, I like my dishwasher. I don't know.
I definitely see comments from both Vicky and Fed Eugenia. It's like, Jennifer got a lot of us hooked. I mean,
I think most of us could raise our hands that she had something to do with us coming into this industry. Which, how amazing is that?
It's amazing. She's done a lot for card making and this industry, and she continues to continually, like, I'm going to show you a new technique today that no one's ever seen. And I'm like, how do you literally, I have texted her, how do you do this? She goes, I don't know. I have too much time on my hands. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you're just smart.
No, I don't think it's the too much time thing, because she's always busy, but yes.
She's humble. She's humble.
Yes, she is. And everybody is saying they love your teaching style. You make them feel it's very inclusive in your teaching style, which they like. Salt says, I always know when you've done something that you really like because of the laugh you make. It makes you so relatable in my world.
Yay. Well, and again, it's like, yeah, I want to be inclusive and encouraging, and to let you know that everybody starts somewhere. And like I did a live stream 2 weeks ago where it was going downhill fast. And I'm like, they're not all going to be winners, not every single one, not like something like the class that I'm teaching, because then we have awesome things. But like sometimes when I'm left to my own devices and I go live on my channel every week, you never know if there's going to be a finished card or not. So
you just know, you see a little smoke ember and you're like, I can get past that. Then the flames get a little bit. You're like, I got this. I got water. I'm good. And then you get in and you're like, oh gosh, no. My craft room does not love me today. Yes.
I know. But it's funny. I've had people ask me like, how often do you sit down and just make a hot mess and then you're dejected? And I'm like, not often. I mean, if I'm being honest, not often. Most of what I do in this room, I film too. Like, I'm like, all right, if I'm making something, I'm filming it with the camera that's over my head, and we're going to see what happens. There are a few things that it will never see the day of YouTube, and they're not even entertaining enough to make a blooper reel. So, not everything turns out, but by and large, a lot of it does. And then I'm done, and I'm like, I just made that. It's good for my ego.
It's nice too, because the one time you wouldn't have filmed, it would have been gorgeous, and you would have been like, oh, and then you try to recreate it, and it just doesn't.
Not going to work. Yeah. So
what's your creative process like when you have a kit? I know you said you have a play. Is there something you go more towards? Or does it depend on the day? Like, do you go towards stencils or dyes?
So it's always dependent on what is in the kit, right? What is the product? Because most of my inspiration comes directly from what's in front of me in terms of product. So, if it's an embossing folder and stencil, I am going to take the most basic approach that I can with that product. I rarely get something and look at it and say, what if I did this, turned it this way and did that? And no, I take a very linear approach to the products in front of me. And I love doing it that way because it might not be breaking new ground in terms of a technique someone's never seen, or, a technique someone's never seen, but it always gives me something that I'm really happy with, generally speaking, when it's done. So I just take what's in front of me and go in a very predictable way. Here's the thing too. I think that taking a basic approach when you have products in front of you and not worrying about reinventing the wheel, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's what I do 79% of the time when I'm making cards. I go to a lot of my favorite design layouts or my favorite color combinations. And I stay within this comfort zone most of the time. And when I do, my cards make me really happy. I don't know if that's so much a process, but it is always product inspired. It's rarely, well, occasionally it's like, I need a card for a wedding this weekend. But even if it is, it's like, what do I have in the wedding category? What does this product look like? How would it best be used?
And I think that's great because you're really letting the product speak. You're giving the product a voice, because it's you're like you said, it's linear. You're just letting the product have a voice. And a lot of times your color with the simplicity of the product is just what makes it so gorgeous, is just. So speaking, this is always a question. I'm surprised it has not popped up when you just said it, because usually immediately when somebody says color, this question comes up. How do you pick your colors? Because we always get that question.
Well, that's a good question. I literally have two groups, right? I have my warm colors and I have my cool colors, and never the twain shall meet. I don't know what that, but usually that is how I determine, is this a cool project or is this a warm project? And I think it's so ingrained in picking colors right now that's just what I do. It's either going to be pinks or blues. That's how I think about it. Because if you have pinks, you can work in yellows, and you can work in reds, and you can work in oranges. And if you have your blues, then you've got your greens, and you've got your purples, and you've got your deep blues. I usually split along those lines, and then I will take 2 to 3 of each in each warm or cool, and that's my palette. And then that is a very predictable thing, right? I don't break out of it very often. I recently got one of those color cubes. You can kind of see the cubes right there. And I did that in an effort to try to do color combinations that I wouldn't normally think of. And I did a few, and they were kind of cool, but they were nothing that I would have chosen. Like, I wouldn't think to say, I'm going to take this pale blue and this navy blue and mix in brown and rust. It actually ended up, whatever the card was, it looked pretty good, but that would not have come off the top of my head. True story. I'm a graphic designer who is very afraid of color. I always have been. And that's partly because in all the corporate jobs I worked, it was very austere and really stripped down, very corporate. I come from a very corporate background as a graphic designer. So we were doing annual reports and newsletters and, brochures on this and that, but it was never wild. So I've always been very tame and reserved with color. It wasn't until I started scrapbooking that I actually had to start thinking about color, maybe in a way that graphic designers do, but I never did. It was like, oh, I guess I should get a color wheel, so.
So there was no tickled pink on your status reports for the company or no?
No, it'd be like, how many shades of beige can we mix in with deep navy? It was always very, very stripped down and reserved. So.
And we also have on Altenew, and I don't know if you knew this, Cathy, we have some color combinations. If you go under our swatches, under free resources on our website, we have the Altenew colors in like a line. Like, I think there's 5 or 6 of them that you can put together. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's great. So it, you can kind of substitute. Maybe you got some of the new colors in the upcoming October kit. You're like, oh, that color I could substitute here. So you can really mix and match those swatches as well. So if you need some color inspiration with your beautiful new Altenew colors, make sure to check out those swatches and you guys as well.
Okay.
And Janet, yes, they're the rounds, the beautiful rounds, which are great because if you drop them a lot like me, they stay closed. I dropped one of the ovals and the top got stuck in the top of the radiator and the bottom went face down into a pile of cat fur. So I love the rounds because they don't open when you drop them.
Well, that is true. That's true. And I actually like when they also make a little sound when you put them on your glass surface. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like a little, I think it's really cute. That's all. It's all new. It's all new to me. I love it. I've only had these new inks. Like I have some crisp dye inks, but these inks, I think about 4 months ago, I started buying them.
Wait till you have the sticky mat and you can just turn and they don't move.
Well, see, yes. And I have a fresh sticky mat in, like, I just got a new one that's not inside my
stamp wheel.
Yeah, stamp wheel. But so I need to start incorporating that too, because yes, you can stick them, twist them, you're good to go.
Yes, it's lovely because I love them for the dyes that are in there that are similar to the Craft of Flowers where you layer the flowers together. Yeah. They're great because you can just have your ink pad, it doesn't move, your blending brush, you come over, you just wipe it with water, start again. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Stickiness. Yes.
So amazing for ASMR. Yep, yes. That's me. That's all. I know that people do their ASMR videos. Like I know like Simon Hurley has the ASMR that he does and the Ralph Tyndall dude. But I think it would be great to have long form ASMR video where the people are talking, but they're whispering. And then you hear all the little things. Now, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but let me tell you, it would be my cup of tea.
That sounds very good. So you may see that someday. You never know.
You never know. I may just do like a April Fool's Day ASMR. I'll plan that for next year.
Because when Keisha said that, I'm like, yes. When you were talking about it on the glass mat, I'm like, oh yes, the ASMR. Yeah, I thought of that instantly.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite memories of virtual crafting events that you've been to?
Well, I feel like now I have been to quite a few. Most of the ones I have been to are for Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. And Altenew, you are one of our sponsors for the magazine. And I'm actually very excited. I shouldn't give away too much information, but let's just say I'm working on something for the fall issue and it's involving Altenew products. So that's all I'm going to say because I can't say anymore. I've said enough.
Very excited.
But those events have been really, really fun for me. They're intense. I mean, this year we're doing like 4 days. It's nonstop, but it's just a good community building kind of event. And I love teaching at events like that because generally speaking, you have plenty of time. You're not rushed. I love teaching live because most of my tutorials on YouTube, I film them in a live format. I don't do voiceover work anymore because I just thought it would be good. I don't know why. I think it's because I enjoy that style so much. I enjoyed friends who did it that way. And so, I just really enjoy being part of these events at Scrapbook and Cards Today. I've done also Concord and Ninth. That was super fun for me. Virtually and now this. I mean, this is really exciting too because I have been a guest in where I was snuck in behind the scenes and watched the last one because I'm like, I've never been to one of your events, and the pace is great, the vibe is great. Like you said, everybody's working and you can see everyone, but I like the way you moderate because then the instructor doesn't have to worry that I'm missing important questions. You can say, hey, Cathy. And that makes it really nice for the people who want their questions answered. Because not everyone, people all work in different ways, but I like to be able to answer questions as they come up too. So I hope to create new memories with Altenew, and then they'll have me come back.
Yes, we're so excited to create wonderful memories with you. We're so excited.
Yeah.
And it's great too because you just get to craft and you get to show us your beautiful, stunning projects, and you don't have to worry. So we ask you the questions, which is great. You just get to do you, as they say, and teach, and everybody gets to learn the beautiful projects, which is so exciting. And Jen said Cathy was a determining factor in me signing up. Yay!
Hey!
Yay! And
I also saw Isis. Yes, there's a Brutus Monroe event coming this summer too, this month actually. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to be part of these events. And like I said, I'm honored that people ask because I still feel there's that me that's new still. Like, I've never done this before, so I still have that little bit of not imposter syndrome because I'm a good teacher, but like, it's still like, they want me. Okay. Okay, I'll do it.
Now, we have some random questions that should be fun. What's an average day like for you?
Oh, this is thrilling. Okay. I wake up to no alarm because that is the beauty of being self-employed, my friends. Sure, you don't get paid vacations, but you also don't have to set an alarm. I wake up anywhere between 4:30 and 7:45. It really depends. And there goes the cat. And it just depends. But I will get up, I get the coffee, and then I come in this room. What I should do is go out for a mental health walk, but I don't. I'm trying to work that in. Yes. I come in this room, I sit, I turn this way to my other computer, and I start the day with email, schedule planning, admin stuff first, and then what do I have creatively on tap today that needs to be filmed, videos, what do I have that needs to be edited, because that's the other piece of it. Like, you have your raw footage, then you have to turn it into a video, and then you have to make sure you have good photographs of your cards. So all the things that go into my channel happen throughout the day. So photography, which I don't do in this room. This room is not made for photography, no matter how hard I have tried. All my photography happens downstairs in my dining room where I used to stream from and work from. And then there's meetings. Luckily, not too many. I don't love meetings, but because I always feel like I don't really have anything to contribute. That I've always felt that way in meetings. Again, it's the introvert thing. I'll sit there and just wait. When should I say anything? Nope. Raise my hand. Anyway, then I'll have meetings. And I usually try to wrap up the core of what I'm doing for the day by about 4:30. But I take lunch in my in the employee break room, which is downstairs. I'm super regimented. I mean, and I think I've been self-employed since my son was born. I quit my corporate job in 1999 and have managed to stay afloat ever since then. There have been bad years, like lean years. There was a year I couldn't afford to buy repositionable adhesive. And I remember my best friend who I was telling you about earlier, she worked with one of the online scrapbook companies, and she gave me a discount, or she bought with her discount some tape runner and sent it to me in the mail. But this has been my life for many, many years. And I am so fortunate that card making gave me this new life, because again, it just takes what I love to do and all the other things. So I don't mind the administration stuff. I don't mind I love the tech stuff, to be honest with you. I loved learning about video editing and getting the right equipment and trying this camera and trying that camera. I'm sure my husband didn't love it as much from a financial standpoint, but I'm like, listen, honey, I'm going to make it back. I'm going to make the money back. But yeah, that's typical day. And sometimes I work in the evenings, but I will be honest with you, not very often. I am a morning person. So if I can actually be in this chair before 7 a.m., that's really good for me. But I'm pretty focused and pretty dedicated. I work really hard. And my he always says, you always reinvent yourself. It's really impressive. I'm like, well, you know what? Someone's got to pay the bills. He's a school teacher. So.
Oh, okay. Melanie Art, can you recommend a card making group that would have local area makers wanting to meet up? Virtually is fine. I'm new and looking to connect with others who live nearby. We could probably recommend some virtual ones, but not sure.
Well, I mean, you could check Facebook in your area, like, search for on Facebook, your city and card makers.
Yeah.
Because there's so many groups out there. And even though there are many of us who are like, no, I'm okay, I'll be here by myself, there are also equally a number of people who like to get together and do it. It kind of reminds me of back with scrapbooking, there would be crops. But I went to a couple crops and I did nothing. I got together with girlfriends and we brought all our supplies for scrapbooking. And then we just sat around and drank wine and ate snacks. So like that part was good. But like the idea that I was going to get anything done outside of it was my dining room. And now it's all my things are here in this room. But I'm sure there are groups, because there's just so many groups on Facebook. And you can find people locally, especially if you have a scrapbook store. I know there are few and far between, but many a card maker has met at scrapbooking stores and craft stores.
And I host a virtual one every Saturday that's free. So if you're okay with virtual, let me know. I can send you an email. That's awesome. Simple to do. So every Saturday without fail, there's something. The Altenew educators come in and teach. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know, and I'd be happy to hook you up with that. Okay. If your friends were to give you an award, what would that award be for?
I think it would be an award that least judgmental person.
That is an excellent.
For them, I would be awarded the least judgmental person. That isn't necessarily true in my full life, but with my friends, it is 100% true. I practice listening and acknowledging people, and there is no judgment in my friend zone, because it's not my place. You know what I mean? So I think they would say least judgmental or best at accents. I don't know. It'd be a toss up.
Well, knowing you for, actually having talked to you for 49 minutes now, I would say best at accents. Your accents are awesome. Like,
now I can't do any of them because
that's okay.
Because now I'm at now.
Maybe you can practice for the retreat. You have to come to the retreat to hear Cathy's accents.
You have to practice. Listen, I can't pull any out. Now I just feel like they're all gone. Like,
that's okay.
I can't do any of them.
That's okay. Maybe at the retreat, she'll get so excited after Amy's doing the little tickle and we'll hear a Texas accent or something. You never know. So we'll have to have Amy work on that too. So we have you guys together.
Work on it.
What small action puts a beautiful smile on your face?
When my husband does something nice for me in the physical world. That's not what I mean. When my husband does something nice for me as an act of service,
Yes.
I can't help it. My love language is acts of service. So if my husband puts the vacuum cleaner away for me, or when he vacuums the house, or when he goes to Target and sends me a text and says, hey, do you need more garbanzo beans? Like, little acts of service mean a lot to me. And those are the types of things. It's not big things, it's not big gifts. We're not big gift givers in our world. We don't spend a lot of money on frivolous things, although we did just go to Europe as a family. So call that frivolous, but it was the trip of a lifetime. Anyway, small acts that make me smile, or, not much, but especially with the hubby, because he's good egg, and it's not always sunshine and roses, but when nice little things happen, like bringing me up a LaCroix when I'm live streaming, I'm like, that's a keeper.
That's a good fella. That's a good fella. Just knowing.
Good fella.
Keisha, could you post Cathy's link into the chat? We have a couple people that were looking for Cathy's link. If you can post that in the chat so that folks can get on over and save the monies. We love to save the monies at Altenew.
Save the money. Hey, Joyce gives me the Boop Award. I appreciate that, Joyce. Laurel's calling it the Boopy. And that's B with a B. Boop.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Betty Boop. Yes.
Like Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
Someone sent me a Betty Boop sweatshirt. I thought it was so cute. It was a couple years ago, and I haven't worn it because it's too small. I think people think because they only see my head, like, oh, she's so tiny. No, not really. We need a little more. We need a little more on this middle-aged body. Anyway.
I had a woman that met me and she was very excited I had legs. She's like, oh my God, you have legs. Because she only ever sees my hands and my
well, that's why when I'm live streaming, I have an alternate camera and I call it the I'm going to turn off the butt cam because I have a little inset of my head and I often have to run around. And I mean, I wear pants, obviously, yes, but I'm not dressed very well from here down. So I always have to turn off the butt cam because I'm like, nobody needs to see that.
We've discussed we like to keep it cozy. We like the stretchy pants. We like the hair up in the bun with the claw. We like it all.
We like it all. We like it all.
That's perfect. This is the perfect retreat for you. Cozy comfort. This is the perfect. It was built for you almost.
It is.
Cozy comfort.
There you go. See, I instantly just aged 20 years, but you know what?
It looks stunning. I think it looks stunning. You look very classic.
I cannot craft with my hair down.
No, because it encroaches.
It encroaches. But yeah, there you go.
What is one thing you would like to have?
A country where kindness ruled.
Nice. Kindness is fabulous. It is a fabulous, fabulous thing.
I mean, it's not naive. More kindness and more understanding. That's what I would like to have in the world, in my life, for everyone. Just more kindness. It's so funny because like the whole share handmade kindness thing, my little block, it's so simple, right? Just being kinder to people and understanding. That's it.
I had a guy hold the door and I'm like, you have no idea. You made my day. Like most people let that slap right in your face. And he held it. And I said, thank you so much. You made my day today. Simple act of kindness. I mean, it really does go so much to people nowadays, and kindness is free. Thank you. Yes, it is.
It is free. And if not kindness, hot French fries. French fries that are fresh and have just come out of the deep fryer. I want all that crispy oil. I want it all, and I want it served with kindness.
So, is your spirit animal a seagull because the French fries, or do you have a different spirit animal?
I have said there are times I see other people and I can't even think of any right now where I'm like, they're my spirit animal. I don't have a spirit animal. I mean, maybe the thing about a seagull that I do like that is that they are excited when they get food and they're always like looking for the French fry. And I feel like that's me. I'm not alone. A lot of people like French fries. This is a known thing. This is commonly held thing that people love fries.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say seagull because I flit around a little too. I do flit around, and you can see it right now. So, I mean,
actually, I have one. I have a stuffed seagull up there. They're my favorite. They're my favorite bird.
Are you serious?
I love the seagulls. Yes, I love the seagulls. Yep. He's up there. You can see his little yellow feet. That's a seagull.
And I really do. I have fond memories of, I grew up in Washington State, and I used to love going down to Seattle and go to Ivers on the waterfront. You hold a French fry out and they just come take it from you and fly off. It's so fun.
I have to go there and do that now. I have to go there and do that.
That sounds fantastic. If you've never done it, you hold out a fry right by the water. They fly, swoop, grab it. They don't even touch you. It's great.
Fabulous. That is amazing. See them in their own environment and everything.
And have good fish and chips. So
I think that's even better. That is even more perfect. This one, so we have two more questions. This, I don't know, both of them are kind of hard, but I think one's harder than the other. So let's see what you think. The first one is, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
I think it is my excitement for things.
It's
because it spills over into everything. There's a story. People who have seen my channel, they've heard me say this story before, but it's one of my favorite stories between me and my husband. And he said, this is you versus me. He said, let's say I want to learn about the Amish. He said, or collectively, we want to learn about the Amish people. And he said, me, I might check out a book. I might rent a movie. I might read a magazine article. He said, you become Amish. And that's I've always been that way. I'm very much all in. Yeah. And I like that about me because it helps me to experience life in a way that feels very full and rich, even though it doesn't mean everything around you has to be fancy and neat and this and that. It's like if you bring your whole heart to things and you're excited about things, it shows, and it also spills over to the people around you.
And it does. You are contagious in our crafting community. It's amazing. It just, your spirit.
Germs.
And your
Here are my germs of excitement coming for you.
So we will review one more time, and then I have one question left, and then we will let Cathy get back to normal life here. But we have October 12th. We have 6 amazing instructors. We have Jennifer McGuire. We have Cathy Zielske. We have Christina Werner, JC Gasper, Carissa Wiley, Amy Rasavi. So we have those amazing instructors. And of course, all those instructors have such beautiful, unique styles that they're going to use one kit, and it's all going to come together, which is going to be absolutely fabulous. You can see a picture of what is going to be in your kit, which is very exciting. It used to be a secret. Now we let you know what's in there. So it's very exciting. There's new ink colors, and they are the full rounds, which is very exciting. There's some new cardstock in there. Lots of it, lots of beautiful, exciting things. You will create with this kit so much after this event. You won't just create with this kit during the event. It will last you, and it will go on into your crafting world as well. And it goes from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We do have a lunch break, and it's saying it starts shipping the 3rd week of September. So I was about 3 to 4 weeks. It's about in there. And trying to think what else we have. If there's homework, the teachers let you know beforehand so that you can come in. If they want you to emboss a panel, they'll let you know. Cut down a panel, let you know. And the majority of everything is in this kit. Cathy may say, I like black ink. I want to stamp my sentiment in black ink. She may pull in a black ink pad, but it's things that you would likely have, or a die cutting machine for the embossing folder and the dies. So things like that. And we are so excited that you guys are going to join us, because it's like Cathy had spoken of early. There's a camaraderie at these events that you don't feel this vibe. And I've never felt this vibe anywhere else. It's just the camaraderie of being in the same place at the same time, doing what you love together. And it's different every time, which is amazing for each event, because we have different instructors and different kits. And so just a very, very cool vibe every single time. So, and we're so excited that we have 2 new amazing teachers joining us, Cathy Zielske and Amy Rasavi, as well, their first time. So we're so excited to have you join them as well to see their beautiful projects. Okay, so this question, we've changed it.
Ooh.
So, and we're pretty lenient with the answer to it. It used to be that we asked you to pick 5 items to go in your crafty to go bag, your 5 top, but we increased it to 7 because everybody, oh, I'm sorry, there is no limit of people, no limit of people at all. If it sells out right now, it is not limited, so it's open. So make sure to go. It can sell out at some point, but so for right
The
now,
limit does not exist.
So yes.
Mean Girls, anyone?
No, we're quoting movies today. We got The Claw. We got, but yeah. So right now, it's not limited for people. Right now, we have seats available, so you can keep checking on the website to make sure. So if you are interested, you do want to sign up because we have had it sell out in the past. So you do want to make sure to sign up if you are interested. And honestly, you're gonna get, this is right when it came out, so they're offering really good deals now.
Good deal now, yeah.
Lots of codes and stuff. So this is when you're going to get that really good bang for your buck, good savings with all of this. Oh, Laurel said last year's was great, but this one will be even better. Yes, yes. They're always my favorite until we have the next one, and then that one's my favorite. So, okay, sorry to interrupt, but back to the question. So, gave you a few seconds to think. We used to have 5. We went to 7. 7 items in your crafty to go bag that you would take with you.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, stamp positioner.
Oh yeah.
Number 2, black ink pad. Number 3, die cut machine, which isn't really small, but I could take a small one.
You could. Yep. I mean, we have our little.
Don't you have a little bitty? Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so die cut machine.
Yes.
Can I say a 7 pad rainbow of ink as one item?
We've allowed ink in the past, just ink. We've allowed.
Okay,
ink.
Then you know what? Okay, let's go back to stamp positioner. But black ink pad and then ink. So because black ink is very specific. You know, there's. Okay, yes. Then 4 die cut machine. 5 blending brushes.
Good
6
choice.
Stencils. And 7 stamps.
Yes.
That's my crafty go bag.
That is an excellent. We had one time, I can't remember who was asking the question, but they got to the end and they had everything but stamps. They had cardstock, they had everything, and I'm thinking, you don't have any stamps. You are making stamps. Yes,
no cardstock. I will do body art.
Oh, that's right. You don't have cardstock.
No, we got to combine that ink, take the black out, forget what I said about black being specific. We're going to add in white cardstock. There we go.
This is your to-go bag. Like, you gotta go. So you can just, any black ink will do. Just throw in anything, because it's a crafty quick pack, kind of bag. But yeah, see how hard 5 is? 5's hard. And we put it to 7. And I still think taking glue you can get away with, because if you do 1-layer cards, you really don't need, if you've got the cardstock, you could make it work. But
what about foam adhesive?
Are you a lover too of the instant dimension? Are you in the instant dimension obsessive phone club?
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
This is my favorite. I have a ginormous one.
Yeah.
I always have. This is my favorite foam tape.
Yeah. You got to have a backup. It's as big as your head, literally as big as your head.
The other one is this big. Sick as it is.
Yeah. It's as big as your head. So see, she's giving it some love. She's giving
I do love it.
Love.
It's good stuff.
Oh, no, we get the pickup tool. What about dies, adhesive, scissors?
Oh. And I thought I was doing so good. I'm like, I'm going to nail this. Nip, nip, nip.
That's what I said. I didn't know which question was tougher. I mean, they're both tough questions, but that one is tricky with the 7 items. So Jen said, I think it needs to go to 10. It's too hard.
You know what? I think it does, Jen, because yeah, looking up here, dies. No, I'm just going to tear everything. Because I won't have scissors either. So forget fussy cutting. We're just going to tear everything.
We used to tear everything. It'll be old school. You're going old school.
We used to tear everything. See, there it goes again. And yeah, the boop tool. I boop with a P and a B.
Yes.
It'd be hard not to have one of the. I don't know. See, that's why I don't craft on the go.
When you come back with us, you'll have to think of this question. So next time you're like ready. You're like, no, this time I know.
Yeah, I will. Next time I'll be like, well, I've put some thought into it, and I'll whip up.
Kathy will be studying.
She'll have all these caveats, right? Because that's a good one. These were great questions. This is so fun.
This was so fun. Thank you so much for making the time for us today and having a chat and a laugh. We've had a lot of laughs today. Folks are still putting in suggestions. You guys are awesome, man. Like, awesome. You guys are the best. You are so the best. Yes. And I'm gonna push Aram out a little bit. Aram, they want it to go to 10. They want it to go to 10, Aram. So
I think we should consider that, Aram, because what next couple years from now, what are your top 20 things in your go bag?
Amy said she's taking notes. She's getting ready for next week.
Amy's going to be so much more prepared. I feel like I have just been blindsided.
We'll have to change up some questions for the next interview.
Yes, don't give her, seriously, rework them all and just keep her on edge.
I'll get an email from Kathy. Here, try these questions. No.
Try this.
These are for Amy. No. Oh, goodness. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's always so much fun to have you come and get to really know our teachers and have a chat and be able to ask questions and have a laugh and get to know the teachers before the day of. It's so much more relaxing if you go in kind of having experienced somebody before and knowing their personality a little bit. And especially in the world of virtualness, you've met Kathy. So that's exciting. Amy said not to give you any ideas about sending the list. Thank you guys so much. And hopefully we will see you on July 9th when Amy Rasavi is in the hot seat and at 3:30. And she will be answering some different questions that day.
Probably. Well, Bridget, thank you for having me. This was super fun. And thanks for everyone who came and joined us today. Or if you watch on replay, thank you for being here. And yes, take advantage of the good price.
Yes. And I mean, this is going to be here before you know it. October sounds like so far away. October 12th sounds so far away, but it's going to be here, sadly, and good for the event.
Sadly.
No,
summer out of here.
There's snow coming behind it. So that's why I'm like, October, I'm excited about the event, but there's snow behind it. So it's
that is true. That is true.
I'm excited for the event. If we can leave the snow and have the event, that would be great.
Yeah. Cool fall weather. That's all I want. The cool fall, the crisp leaves, you know.
A good holiday kind of fall vibe going on for the event.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we can't wait to craft with you in a couple months. We'll be crafting live with Cathy. So excited. And again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much from all of us at Altenew for allowing us to help you craft your life. We will see you all very soon. Bye.